Hey there, happy Sunday. It's me, Victor, here doing a recap for the YouTube channel. Hopefully, y'all had a great trading week this past week. So far, first week back trading for myself. I only had 3 trades this week overall, down for the week. But again, as I mentioned before, first week back trading. So things are going to take a little bit of time to get used to. And hopefully, y'all enjoy these. Again, all these are just for educational purposes only. I'm not a financial guru. All this is not advice. Just I'm cataloging all this to hopefully y'all can learn as we go in my trading journey. Okay, but week 294 this is going to be and beyond. As I mentioned, curiosity trader here. Hopefully you had a great week. So in my last video I was long PLTR overnight, and quite frankly that trade did not go as planned. That's perfectly fine. Sometimes whenever you place a trade, it's all about playing the odds, and that's one of the things I always see people on Twitter, for instance. They have a problem knowing when to sell, and that's pretty easy. You have to first off know what you're doing. What's your game plan. And for this PLTR, as I mentioned on the last recap watch list, I was long overnight, anticipating a nice gap up and range break over this high day of 25.53, and quite frankly we didn't get that. And this is one of the patterns I'm learning right now and trying to really, I guess, master. It takes time though. You have these big moves here in the sideways consolidation, and that's really what I'm looking for in the stocks which I'm going to show you for this upcoming week. And again, what I do is not going to work for what you do. We're different traders. I just want you to learn something from this if you can. And it's really interesting to see how far I have come as a trader, because I do still pay attention to small cap markets, but I just think there's edge to it, I would say, but it's just really hard to really, you're always near your entry. You're always fighting near your entry. And I have a full-time job, so I'm not really able to be in front of the screens all the time. So being in a stock, like for instance, like H2OO this past week on a Friday, this is a nice gap short pattern that I've been tracking over the past 4 years really. There's edge to these plays if you have edge, but like most other times, these high day breaks on these small caps do not work. Again, most of the time they don't. I mean, we saw a great play on Hollow past couple of weeks, and I traded this. I'll go over it in a minute. Hollow couple of weeks ago. Yeah, right here. A nice monster spike. But I really, to me, it's so hard trying to capture these moves. I'm not saying that it's impossible. For these small caps, I really just focus on the late day moves rather than the early moves, if that makes any sense. Like I want to see a stock make a big move like I did here, make a big move and preferably consolidate here, then in the afternoon ramp up. That's really what I focus on with these small cap plays. And because I'm not really a good dip buyer to say, I know myself, I'm not. I admit that, okay? But I just feel like me as a trader personally, it's more easier in my opinion. Although this is one of the great plays here. I mean, opening range highs. Sorry if I'm getting off topic here, but this is the basic premise of what I am trying to master. It takes time. Okay, you have a big move. Okay, sideways reclaim of the moving average and a spike. Okay, that is what I am trying to get down. Now it takes time. It's not going to be overnight, of course not. It takes time. Okay, but that's really what I am trying to perfect in my trading as the day goes on. Okay, like another play, for instance, is which one was it? SGMO. SGMO is I would say maybe not a 5-star, maybe like a 4-star, perhaps. But you have a big move, I would say, on volume. Not really a big move. I mean, I'm not sure what the news was, quite frankly. I pay attention to the news, but I pay attention to more price action, and the reaction to that. So you had a big move sideways and a high day break here. Okay, that's what I'm looking for here, and that's really what I would trade. That's the game plan going forward. But on PLTR, like I mentioned, the thesis was invalid whenever we had a gap down instead of, I'm gonna just go to this chart. It's easier on this one so you can see the whole view. I was long from 25 average, and again, that's one of the things I'm working on. Is number one, I'm buying mid-range. I understand that. The strategy which I'm trying to learn here, my goal is not to buy it mid-range, not to buy it cheap. My goal is to buy it as it's making the next leg higher, which would have been over this high day break here. Okay, and yeah, I mean, whenever we had a gap down, again, the overall markets had a down day. That's perfectly fine. Down days are natural. I noticed that this 3 out of 4 stocks followed the overall market. Okay, so whenever the market gap down, I knew this was the odds saying this was likely going to get that gap down as well, and that's what happened. And again, my risk on this was, I got long from 25.25. My risk was about right here, 24.70, 24.80 was my initial stopping point for the swing. And whenever I hit that, I simply got out, and I didn't really hesitate. I just moved on. But again, I did get long into this bounce. Not a great buy. Again, as I was mentioning, why am I buying it in the mid-range break here? That's not what the setup that I'm trying to learn. That's not the buying signals. I don't want to buy it mid-range. I don't want to buy it cheap. I want to buy it just right. And I bought this bounce thinking that, okay, maybe if I get in cheap, I get a good spot and I will have a good high day range break down the road this upcoming week. But that's not the mentality I want to have. That's the first trade. I got, when was this? Here we go. PLTR, here we go. I got long, again, very small share size. How much was it? What does it say? Yeah, 55 shares. Okay, from a 24.93 average. Not great. I mean, yeah, into the bounce here, okay. But again, it's mid-range. I'm not sure why I'm doing that. It's just boredom trading. It's something I have to get fixed with. And I know that that's been an issue in the past for me. And I know it's going to be an issue for a lot of people out there. And knowing that, like, you don't have to trade all the time. Okay, it's counterintuitive, but you don't have to trade all the time. And I know that for myself, it's easier said than done. Because thinking that as a trader, you have to trade every day to make money and to become profitable. But that's further from the truth. And these two trades, for instance, POTR, I'm not upset. I had a game plan. Okay, I know what I was doing. The setup was there. I'm fine with that. What I'm not fine with is this second trade here, is me doing it out of, I wouldn't say revenge trading, perhaps it is, but it's number one's mid-range. Okay, the first trade on POTR was, I would say, not ideal, but I'm not upset about it. This one I am upset about because number one, it's mid-range. Number two, it's a down day. Number three, why am I buying this? I guess mid-range. That's where it comes down to. There's no setup here. There was a setup the first time I was trading it, for the anticipation of a gap up, but the second time, no. Okay, but this one's for sure is going to be on radar for the next coming week. Ideally, we have a consolidation sideways and have a nice high day break. So for sure, this was not on off watch by any means of the imagination. I want to have this in my back watch list along with some other stocks I'll go over in a minute. Then we'll see what happens on the week. Okay, but Hollow was another one. Again, this was more of an open range high break. This type of setup that I'm trying to. So you have those really the two ones. You have open range highs, and you have these flags I'm trying to really perfect. And it takes time. Okay, those are the two setups I'm trying to learn from specific people. I'm not going to mention who, but I've been doing it for the past 2 years, and this is really the first time I'm putting it to the test. So it's going to take time. Okay, but Hollow, again, as I mentioned before, you have a big move sideways, surfing of the moving average, and heading into a Friday pre-market. I saw that this gapped up, and whenever this gapped up, I told myself, okay, let's see what the opening action is. And whenever I saw this gap up here, because you have to understand something, okay? You have, whenever this base is, monster run from the low of what, 16 to the high of 43, okay? Whenever this base is, people are going to be trapped. You have short sellers who are trapped, okay? Because understand, most people can buy rather than go long in the market. Most people don't even know short selling exists, quite frankly. So whenever this gapped up, okay, I didn't know. The odds said, okay, let's see what opening action says, and let's see what the market gives me. And immediately, let's go to the 1 minute chart here. I don't really like using the 1 minute chart, but for this video I will. But so out of the open, we had a spike, and I tried to get long. But for some reason, again, I am in Charles Schwab. They limit. I wired funds to them, so they limit for about a 15-day period on social. It's for my own good, I guess. They limit what I can trade. They don't want me to trade these high volatile stocks until the funds have been 100% cleared. So whenever the funds are cleared, I can trade wherever the hell I want. But for that a lot of time, I could only trade specific stocks. And for some reason, this one was blocked. I tried to buy 40 shares of this. I did not. Well, it wasn't even 40. I was trying to buy 20 shares of this. I think. I am not sure. I can look here. Maybe. I don't know. What did I try to buy? I tried to buy something. Order history, trade history. That's not gonna happen. Oh wait, let me do this. Can I don't know. I'll just show you in here. I did get long this at a pathetic fill. Again, this was chasing off my part because number one, I was already upset that I missed my initial entry, so I was like, screw it, I want a part of this. I didn't know, but the odds say, I've seen these plays so many times before, that I knew this was going to have a monster spike, and it did, and I got FOMO. I got aggravated that I did not buy my initial. I only bought two shares of this. I was trying to buy, I think, 25, again, small account, of this at opening range highs. I didn't get filled for some reason. Oh, well, as I mentioned, they rejected it. For some reason, they let me buy 2 instead of 25. I have no idea why. Probably because I have the cash available. It just makes no sense, to my opinion. I'm going to give this a week or two with Charles Schwab. And if they keep doing this, I'm going to switch back to E-Trade. I don't want to, but if I have to, I have to. But again, horrible buy. Worst mistake of my life. But again, this is what I'm talking about here. Okay, you have a move. A sideways ramp. Okay, that's really what I'm looking for. And again, I tried to get long in this range. I did, but again, I got rejected. And that's perfectly fine. Then, of course, it did what it did. Had a monster run. Beautiful run. I mean, who knows? I probably would have never held this entire way. You know, there's no way. But it just goes to show you how much these can run. Okay, so always have former runners on your back watch list. And this is not over by any means. I think, for instance, I would like to see this base. You know, let the base come down a little bit, let the base and have another ramp higher. But yeah, so those are the really 2 trades I traded this. Well, 3 trades this week, and we're just getting back into the groove of things. You know, I mean, for what was it? So I guess a loss of what? 20, 35, 20, 30. 40, loss of $50 this week. That's perfectly fine. Things happen in life, you know. And again, I mean, you shouldn't really focus on winning every trade. Okay, I mean, I think having a good win rate is good, but like, I mean, in the long run, I think you can have like a 30% win rate and make good money in this business. I think the best traders I know take the best losses. You know, you have to learn to lose good. Okay, and whenever you have a good winner, let it ride. But for this upcoming week, I'm just going to focus on those 2 really things, you know. Whether it be in these small cap sector plays, let them run, let them come back, let it base and go for that flag break or the high day open range highs in the morning. Okay, But a couple stocks I'm watching for this upcoming week. I'm not going to go over all of them because this video is getting longer than I thought it was going to be already. But ILAC is one I'm looking for. Kind of choppy, but I'm watching for an open range high break over this really 95-cent level. We'll see. The volume is fading, which is really good. Whenever you see a stock go sideways, you want the volume to diminish. You don't want it to have heavy volume. You want it to be heavy volume when it breaks that range. So we will see. The ADR is quite high, 20, almost 22%. So we'll see what happens. But again, ideally get long over this range break here. But we'll see whatever the market gives me. That one, another one coming up. We have earnings in a couple of days. Next Thursday is this stock here, CCCC. Again, nice reclaim, former runner. As you can see here, nice move, nice reclaim of the moving averages. Not sure what the earnings are going to be. I don't really care. I trade the reactions. Ideally, I'm not going to touch this. Ideally, I would love this to come back and base, and create higher lows, and again open range high break into whatever the earnings perhaps says. But for sure, this is going to be on watch down the road for this high day break on the daily. Another one is Lucid, has earnings reporting coming. I believe it's this Thursday. When is it? No, it's this Tuesday rather. Yes, it's this Wednesday earnings. But one more play, another one, again, opening range highs, high day break, more sideways the better. The volume is quite there, so it's okay. But again, it's just not really, it had a chance here to run. I'm not sure what, they didn't have no news, I don't think. Well, yeah, whatever, fluff news. But it did break that range, so for some reason, it didn't go, so it really doesn't really, the fact that this broke that range and didn't hold goes to show me it's not really, there's not that many buyers, but we'll see. I like how it's basing here at the all-time lows, for instance. I mean, you have good risk reward in my opinion, whatever the earnings are, bad or good. So we'll see. Ideally, again, earnings are on Wednesday, so if it breaks out of this range, yeah, that's a good setup in my opinion. That's that one. Another one is, which one am I looking at? AAOI is another one. Again, recent run of the past. Earnings is this Thursday. Again, it did try to break out of the high day range and it failed. But that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly normal. Let's see how this holds up down the week. Ideally, I want to see this again base go sideways, then heading into earnings, whatever the reactions are, push towards high day, ramp, and perhaps opening range high, get long, and we'll see on that one. A few other ones I'm watching. CRBP is one I'm watching, just for the back watch list. Let's just see. Monster volume, okay, it's basing here. If it gets over this really 24 level on the reclaim of the moving averages, perhaps we see a move leg higher, but if not, so be it, fade it perhaps, but just one to watch. I have price alerts set. I do love how it's basing here. It's going sideways on very thin volume. So we will see on this one how the odds play out. But again, if it goes over that 24 level to a 25 level, and if bases, perhaps we get another leg higher to go who knows where. CGen is one to watch, kind of a back burner, but I mean the overall premise is there. I would say, you have a major volume day. It's been going sideways for what, almost 3 months now, so we'll see. Again, I have price alerts on that one. Some Bitcoin stocks I want to talk about real quick. Oh, one more, NRBO. This is a nice one here. Again, basic premise, big move, sideways, reclaim of moving averages. Now we're going to leg higher. Again, price alerts are on this over 540. Perhaps we get something going, but other than that, we'll watch it for sure. But what up here? What am I doing here? Okay, so a couple of watchers I'm watching. Then I want to end this for the week. And perhaps I'm not sure when I want to post tomorrow. As the market's closed, so I'll probably post tomorrow. But again, most people do not know that Bitcoin, the halving is coming up in April. And these Bitcoin halvings lead to quite momentum runs within the Bitcoin theme sector plays, and I have a whole list here. I'm not gonna go over all of them, okay? But again, I'm not no genius here, okay? I am just saying, the longer this does, we want this to go. I want whatever the market does, it does. But I want this to base, come down, and go ramp up into the halving. Halving's in 58 days, okay? So we have 58 days. So then, but like for instance, COSK 5-star setup, 5-star. I mean, this is the basic premise of what I'm trying to learn here. Okay, you have a big move off the lows, drawdown, reclaim of moving averages, positive earnings, and a run. This is what I'm trying to look for. This is what I'm trying to master here. Okay, it's the same patterns happening over and over again, and it just takes time doing it. But I'm watching this for this right here. It is going sideways. I like this sideways price action. Ideally, I don't know, I would like this to come back down, but if not, I will get long over this high day range break. But again, it's way above the moving averages. I would like this to come back down, okay? Because this one did have a high day break over the ranges, compared to, like, let's say for instance, Riot, where Riot has not had that high day break. So this one is more of a, I prefer this one over COSK, because again, it has potential to go higher. But for this one, more sideways the better, and opening range highs, high day break. Same with Mara, exact same one, same type of play. You know, more sideways, come down towards the moving average. That's perfect. Come on down, lower the better, then base, and then another leg higher. Okay, and if not, we move on. Okay, but ideally, same with BITF. BITF is a nice one as well. Opening range, nice high day break. Same type of play here. Come back, more sideways, and range break. Okay, but those are the type of plays I'm looking for towards this upcoming week. There's a lot more other ones, like earnings plays, I would say. Like Toast, I would say opening range highs on that one as well. But we'll see. You know, it's all about playing the odds, to say. App is another one to see. But other than that, I have some plays I'm watching on my back watch list. But again, it's whatever happens. Same with CVNA. Carvana is reporting earnings here this upcoming week, and we'll see what happens. I mean, this is a monster runner from the past. Okay, they report earnings on Tuesday after market opens. No, I'm sorry, Thursday. So we'll see. I mean, ideally, again, base, hold this moving. I wanted to hold this, ideally hold it, and base, and perhaps we get long, whatever happens. But we'll see. Okay, I mean, the main goal this week is just when I come back next week, even if I do trade or not trade, I don't want to be trading randomness. So like, whenever you are trading, understand that you want to have a game plan. You want to know what you're doing. Don't just buy and sell randomly. Okay, know what you're doing. And I know it takes time. I know it does. Believe me, I know it does. But yes, just so this upcoming week, just focus on my setups. Focus on setups. That's really what it is. Okay, that's really what it comes down to. Most of y'all's problems come down to not having any setups, not having any roles, and you have to get to that point by just studying past movers. Okay, and again, I haven't perfected this by any means of the imagination. I'm just telling you what I've seen from other successful traders. Okay, but yeah, I want to publish this tomorrow. Okay, and hopefully you'll have a great trading week. And again, understand that sometimes the best trade is no trade. Okay, you don't have to trade every day. Sometimes just I'm gonna do better for myself just to focus on the stocks which I have watching, and understand, Victor, that I don't need to trade. Okay, because I've gone 2 years without trading a single stock. 2 years. Okay, and that's why I really I know if I gone 2 years without trading, I know I can go a day without trading. Now that I'm in the game, okay. But yeah, so the main goal of next week is to focus on my setups and do not deviate from that. Okay. Okay, but other than that, hopefully y'all enjoyed this. Leave any comments in the comment section below, and if you have any questions, hit me up. Okay, other than that, have a safe trading week, and I'll see you next time.